judges. They're not in here, but thank you, judges.
It's really for real now. That's what we've decided. Reality stinks, everybody. They should never give me a microphone. My name's Rob. I was one of the judges, but there was 3 of us, and a support worker as well as Paige. So we've got lots of help. Now I've shut it off again. So thank you. When it flashes with the red and the green, does that mean the batteries are dying? All right, great. So anyways, everybody, a big round of applause for all the performers. Where's Corey go? Where'd she go? There she is. And Paige and Kimberly and the whole crew put it all together. So I've done this a few times, and it really sucks. I don't want to choose anybody, and I don't want to take anybody off the list. All 12 groups should definitely go play at Summer Folk, and I'm not allowed to do that. So this is going to be the 50th year of Summer Folk, so it's a real honor for everybody that's playing there. But we did have to pare it down to 5, and I love all of you. Great performances by everybody. I'm going to get into it. We're going to do this really slow. It's going to take about 45 minutes to explain the 5 I'm going to start by spelling their names, and so everybody just get real comfortable. No, we're going to do it one at a time, but we're going to take a second, and they're going to get you up here for a picture. So, if you hear your name called, that's fantastic, and you can come and see Paige, and we'll all cheer, and we'll take a picture. Oh man, I'm just dragging this out. We have 5 acts making the Summer Folk. We're so grateful for this. Very first on the list, we want to bring up Amanda and the Paper Cranes. There is no order. All equal, everyone's equal. I'm getting out of the Amanda and Paper Cranes. The Ruthven sisters. Now, I don't know which camera we're looking at.
So good.
We get them all. How about the communes? Great job.
Where are we looking? Link to that one?
Yeah, we'll go there. This is Roger's cable over here. You know, it's all live.
I do my energy.
Right on. Get up. This isn't so bad. I was going to drag it out a lot longer. And our 4th, we've got 2 more. Ella Frank. Again, we had to pick 5. It's so tough, it's impossible. I'm going to go home and cry myself to sleep. Bryson Cleveland. not sure if Corey's got more words, but I do. Every single performance, we were sitting there as judges and just crapping our pants because we had no idea how to choose. Every single one that did not make it through, come back next year. Meet these people, meet each other.
Come back.
Mingle, come back, do your thing, like create, go to your town, create more, take 13-hour bus rides, whatever you gotta do. But we wanna see you back next year.
Bravo.
Due to the length of the preceding program, we now join the regularly scheduled program already in progress.
At Heartwood, we've done cocktails and construction.
Right.
But I am going to be doing one soon at the Grey Bruce Makerspace.
That space is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Lots of great stuff there. You've also done it for some smaller groups, like the Girl Guides.
Like the Girl Guides, yes.
Yeah.
I did. I have done it for the Girl Guides and the Pathfinders.
Which is awesome.
I did get to go to Girl Jam for the Girl Guides, which was like the coolest experience ever. There were thousands of girls there going through all different amazing things. Like there were neuroscientists there. There was the museum from Toronto was there, the aquarium in Toronto, and then I got to do drywall patches. It was so cool.
That is very cool. And like when we were little, you didn't learn how to do drywall. You didn't even know it was really a thing unless like your dad did it.
Yeah, one of the things that I've learned is that you do have to see people doing it.
Yeah.
So
I see women doing it.
I see women for sure. Yeah, I like going into schools. I also get to do that and talk to them about it because you don't know what you can do until you see it. I probably would have done something totally different if I knew that I could work in construction.
Yeah. And there will always be drywallers.
There will always be every trade.
A computer is not going to take over drywalling.
Well, they do have
organizing.
They do have robots now, but
sure. But like, there's takes somebody to run it and like use the machinery and all those kinds of things.
Yeah,
so
it's never going to be as good as a human. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, walls aren't perfect. Sometimes you have to fix humps that are from framing or things like that. So,
or in Owen Sound, half of the houses are 100 years old.
Yes.
Those things settle and split.
Well, and it's usually lath and plaster, so it's fixing big cracks that have been there for hundreds of years. Yeah.
And you would have to take all of that off the wall, right? No, you can just go in and fix it up?
Yep. I have a product that I use that's made out of fiberglass, and it's a pretty neat product. It comes in multiple sizes, but one is a 3-foot sheet.
Okay.
So instead of having to tear out all that heavy lath and plaster, I can smooth it all out and make it look like new drywall.
I had no idea because my understanding was as soon as you started to disrupt it, all those you had to take the whole thing off and like redo your whole wall.
I can literally fix anything.
That's amazing. I think that's so important for people to know, right? Because
I actually ask people now, before you rip apart your house, let me come in and walk through with you and tell you what I can fix and what I can't.
That's
because sometimes it'll save you thousands of dollars because that stuff's heavy and weighs a lot at the dump.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Nobody thinks of like their disposal fees.
No, disposal fees huge.
But also just the strain on the environment.
Yeah.
Like you're now throwing these things away where you could repair and stuff versus, you know, complete demolition.
Well, and it's less dust in your house because lath and plaster creates a lot of dust. Like we make a lot of dust, but it's extra with lath and plaster and it's old dust, so it's worse for you than anything else.
Yeah, I've seen you come out of jobs where you're just head to toe white.
Yes.
It's pretty great.
I actually like to go out for lunch that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Morrigan Mudtone knows that there's going to be white footprints after I leave.
Shakes her head when you come in. Ah, geez.
Yes.
Megan again.
Yep.
Yikes. Yeah, so I think everything that you're doing in terms of like teaching women that there are trades available and possible for them, and starting young with Girl Guides, with like schools, elementary schools, everything, just so that they know it's a possibility. Because again, like when we were children, we didn't even know it was a possible job.
I thought trades were only for men. When they came to schools, it was always men.
Well, and I don't even remember like drywalling coming up as a trade.
No, never.
Like there'd be carpenters and welders.
Hairdressing. Mechanic.
Yep, mechanic. Yep. But there weren't any of those like fine trades.
No.
That you would even know
tiling or painting. Yeah. You don't see them come up. Yeah.
No. So I think it's really important that you're out there telling these people, because I mean, you're gonna want somebody to take it over at some point.
That'd be nice.
Maybe your boys.
My kids do not want me to sell the business ever.
No.
They would like to take it over. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your boys, they're so big now.
Yeah.
So when we're talking all these things, going in, speaking to young women and all those kinds of things, I think it's important to know that you are a big supporter of women in general. I mean, from political platforms to, trades, to just in the community, and doing all of these different opportunities for young women and girls so that they can have opportunities that weren't necessarily there for them originally, so that they can gain information and insight from a woman who has done these things.
Yeah, as much as I can. I was raised by a mother who, she ran diagnostic imaging at the hospital. So she got all the medical equipment there. She showed me that women should be the boss. Mm-hmm. Not only could be, but should be.
Yeah.
And so, I've basically created a life there to support women. I'm a part of Elect Her now, where we teach women how to run for municipal politics. I'm on city committees so that there's a woman's voice at the table. Yep. I'm a board member at the Makerspace so that there's a woman at the table.
God, you must just be so bored. Yeah.
Somebody asked me where I find time for life.
You just carry the kids around. They're coming with me.
And then same with the Graybers Home Builders Association. I
Right.
just recently joined there because I want them to support more women in trades.
Absolutely. I mean, we're at least, if not more than half the population.
We are actually more than half
I think
the
we're more
population.
than, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that they know what these opportunities are. And even today, it's so wild
Yeah.
that unless somebody is forcibly kind of forcing their way into classes and stuff like that, it's not just expected that women
It's
are...
not just expected. Even 20 years later, it's still hard for women in trades. We still are treated differently than the men.
Yep.
My staff have told me that a lot, that they see the difference in how I'm treated than the men. I know that there have been jobs where I've made one small mistake and gone back and fixed it, and then they've gotten a man in to do the work after in other jobs for them.
Well, let's talk more about that when we come back.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Hi, and welcome back to My River District. I'm sitting down with Megan Robertson of Meg's Drywall and so many other things. We're just having a little bit of conversation over the break about how much effort we put into volunteering and being part of the community and stuff like that, and how it doesn't pay, and people don't really understand that.
No, they absolutely don't.
And how volunteers can just be treated a little bit differently because people treat you as though you're an employee, but you are in fact not. So I think it's important to know that volunteers do not get paid. And they're using their own time, their own effort, their own personal time to do these things out in the community, such as Elect Her.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about Elect Her. You said women in government, things like that, but tell me a little bit more about how you get involved with it and what you'd be looking for and how it can support.
So Elect Her is an organization that supports women running for municipal politics. So it's nonpartisan politics, because when you work for a city, it's not Liberal or NDP or Conservative, it is just municipal politics. Mm-hmm. They usually do one to four training things a year. In an election year, they obviously do more.
Sure.
So they teach you the finances behind it, what kind of support you're going to need, the different things you can be doing, so that when you decide to run for politics, you are ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And I know that I worked on a campaign once upon a time And there were so many little tiny finicky things.
There's a lot of things that people don't know that go behind a campaign.
Right. Where am I getting my signs?
Yeah.
And then you have to think, are these sustainable signs? Can they be recycled?
Yeah.
What are they made out of? Are they going to cause more waste than they're worth? This was something I had to look into. And it's interesting because, you know, ones cost more.
They do, yeah, yeah.
So it's, how are you getting funding? How are you doing all of these kinds of things? So
well, and then you need a pamphlet so that votes is to talk to people.
100%, 100%. And that, I mean, we have an election year next year.
We do.
So I imagine you guys will be ramping up. Now, do you only do Owen Sound, or would you do Georgia Bluffs?
It is all of Grey Bruce.
Okay.
So we have counselors from all over helping us. So they're yeah, we've had counselors from Northern Bruce Peninsula, from the town of Blue Mountains, Aaron Eldersley. So focus on Grey Bruce counties because there is a lack of women on councils here, and we would like to change that.
Sure, absolutely. So if some next year for the election in any of the smaller municipalities in Grey Bruce, how do they get a hold of it?
They can go on Facebook page and send a message.
Okay.
Regularly the courses are put up there. Most of them are on Zoom, so they're accessible to everyone. Difference for people.
Yeah, I think that's really fantastic.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you are also a waist watcher.
I am a waist watcher. And not the kind that needs to lose weight.
No. Sure.
Yeah.
No judgment. No, Waste Watcher is a group of people specifically in Owen Sound?
Yes.
Okay. In Owen Sound who help promote cleanups.
Yes.
Who participate in a lot of festival and events to ensure that there's an appropriate amount of cleanup.
Yep. Teach people about recycling and compost.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to green bins.
Yes, that is very exciting.
Yes.
I tried to work that into my show, but I was like, how is that River District? But yeah, green bins are starting in June.
Yes.
And those are going to be delivered to everybody's doors with the small kitchen counter one, as well as the green bin itself. It will be picked up weekly.
Weekly.
And that can really reduce your amount of garbage.
Even just my neighborhood. I have a neighborhood full of kids, and some of us have discussed just how much we think it's going to cut back on our garbage. Yeah. I think that we're going to have one bag every 2 weeks, if not less, between recycling and, because you can put paper towels and papers and things like that in the green bin, and your pet waste. This is going to be a great project for Owen Sound.
I think so. I think it's really going to be game changing, and it's going to significantly reduce the amount of garbage, the weight of garbage, and the stinkiness of garbage.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't want to keep it inside or in their garages because it reeks.
Yeah.
But this is being picked up weekly, so it's straight out the door.
That was actually one of the best parts about being a waste watcher, because I was on the operations committee when that was going through.
Okay.
And so I actually got to bring them facts and statistics from what we've collected.
Nice.
To help try to push through the decision. So it was really awesome to have both of those under my belt.
That's amazing. It's really exciting. I'm very, very excited. And if anybody has any questions about the Green Bin program, you can go to owensound.ca. They'll have all the information there. But know that they will be dropped off to you. You do not have to go to City Hall. It'll all get taken care of. There's information inside of it of what can go in, what can't go in. And they've been doing promotion around the city as well about all of these information. So that's fantastic. So glad to have the Waste Watchers. I mean, you guys came to a Girl Guide meeting, going back to Girl Guides, so obsessed.
Girl Guides are important.
They are important because we do a lot of things. Like,
I started off as a Girl Guide years ago, and that's what made me learn about just being able to use my hands and not be so focused on being a teacher or a nurse or,
or in
the
sports.
typicals.
Right, because there's a lot of sports for kids, and that's fine, you know, and girls hockey is growing and it's crazy, it's amazing. But like, there are a whole group of kids who don't want to do sports.
And you get good life skills out of it.
Amazing,
I can build an amazing fire more than most people that I know.
Right?
That's from Girl
I'm a Girl Guide. Let me just build that fire for you.
Absolutely.
I can live on my own in the wilderness for 3 days.
Yes.
As long as I have a cooler filled with well-timed snacks.
That's right. Yeah.
Because Girl Guides are never hungry.
And a little burner.
Yes. Yes.
With a candle.
We made fondue.
Ooh.
I know. ridiculous. But yeah, we did fondue at the last Girl Guide camp, and it was a bit bonkers and delicious, obviously.
Yeah.
But over the buddy burners.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, right? But yeah, there's a whole contingent of girls who do well with learning how to drywall. We've built trays. We've done waste watcher cleanups. We were just at Kelso not too long ago, and you guys came. You explained to us, what everything means and how it's handled and where it all goes afterwards and the importance of cleaning it all up, which is great. You went into cigarette butts a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about cigarette butts.
Cigarette butts, people think that they are just gonna biodegrade, but they're actually not. They're actually full of plastic. The filter is plastic. Throughout the whole thing is plastic.
Yeah.
And one cigarette pollutes something like 50 liters of water.
Yeah.
And there are thousands of those. I mean, the waste watchers were a big advocate for the butt collector downtown Owen Sound. And just the amount of cigarette butts we've collected since we've started it blows my mind.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You can collect an entire coffee tin worth in one cleanup.
One
easily.
cleanup, yeah.
And you don't even see them until you see them.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to them being everywhere.
All garbage. So I actually didn't realize, though, because I see garbage everywhere. I didn't realize how many tiny pieces of plastic are on the ground all over, just from things breaking up over the years and all everywhere. And you don't see that because you just walk by it and you don't think about it. But once you start cleaning up, you really think about those things, and you really think about how you're disposing of things.
So say you're a smoker and you want to be a little bit more conscious. This is before we go back to drywall.
Yeah.
What can you do with your butts?
Well, you can put them in the containers downtown because they get recycled. So cigarette butts can be recycled.
Who knew?
That's something that a lot of people don't know. You can actually contact the waste watchers if you collect your cigarette butts, and they will send them to be recycled.
That's so very cool.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, you're butting them out in a coffee can or something anyways. Just collect them and make sure they go to the right place instead of on the ground.
Yes.
Where your dog can eat it, and then it can really make your dog very sick. It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. How can somebody get in contact with Waste Watchers?
Same thing. They have a Facebook page, the Owen Sound Waste Watchers, and then they're always at any sort of environmental event. So they usually do Earth Day downtown.
Yep.
They do regular cleanups and stuff. So
Absolutely. And you can look for the Waste Watchers stickers on some of the River District businesses who have gone to, you can bring your own takeout containers, or they have recyclable.
Recycle your makeup containers.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've done that as well, which is really, really cool. So
they also do collection of old socks, because as long as they're clean, if they have a hole in them, they also can be recycled into other things.
That's fantastic. And you see a lot of things now that can be recycled into different things, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you were here to talk drywall, and we've only got a few minutes left. So just flipping back to drywall, and not to say that those other things are not entirely important.
Yeah.
Everything is important. But your main job, you're a business owner, a small business owner in the River District in Owen Sound. You've been there for, I don't know, as long as I can remember.
Well, I've been there for 7 years, but my previous company was there before that. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, you want people to hire you, obviously. You want to make money, and on top of all these wonderful things you do for the community, which always helps me when I'm choosing somebody to come and work in my house, to know that they're involved. Tell us a little bit more about drywalling and what you can do to help people, what it looks like in terms of timelines and all that kind of stuff.
So drywalling, depending on the size of your job, if it's just one room, we usually say 4 to 7 days. It takes at least 4 days to do the mudding, because a good drywaller puts 3 coats on. First coat always looks ugly, second coat looks nicer, third coat looks perfect. So the best people know how to do that, and make sure if you do have someone else, you ask them that. But it all depends on your job size. I always tell you when I do a quote how long it's going to take. We do need heat even in the summer, because mud needs heat to dry, and the humidity, you think it's hot, but there's moisture in the air, so the mud actually doesn't dry properly with the humidity.
Can you run a dehumidifier?
We do run dehumidifiers and fans,
I wasn't sure if it dried it too quickly and it cracked. I don't know.
You can dry it too quickly. You can actually bake it and it will crack.
Interesting.
So
I knew something.
There is a temperature level that it does need to be at. It needs to be between 20 and 25 degrees.
Okay.
And the humidity level needs to be 50%. So there are actually technicalities through drywall that a lot of people don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you're not necessarily in a person's house for those 7 days.
Not all
mudding
day,
and
depending.
stuff.
Yeah.
You come in, you do it, it has to dry for a
Yes.
while, and then you
Yeah.
come back and you do it again. So
Yeah.
it's not just you sitting in the room watching it dry. You're
No.
out, you're doing other
Yes.
things. You will come back, and the whole schedule will be laid out for a person
Yes.
when they hire you,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, and we do things like cover the floor with paper so
Right.
that it's less cleanup, because we don't like to scrape floors and we don't want to make a mess of things.
Sure.
We plastic over things that need to be covered up. And
And then you just take it all away with you.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's all built into the price.
Yes.
And you'll go into somebody's home, give them the full quote, how long it's
Yep.
going to take, all of those kinds of
Yep.
things. Well, where can they find you online?
So you can email me at megsdrywall@gmail.com.
Okay.
I have an Instagram, a Facebook. I do have a thing on Google, so you can always Google it. You do have to put the apostrophe in Megs. It is proper punctuation. It doesn't always come up
That's
if you
fair.
don't do that. Yes. Didn't realize that, but somebody told me that.
Well, here we are. The internet.
And you can find me out all over.
Always.
People come up to me all the time and they're like, "Oh my God, you're Meg the Drywall." And I'm like, I am.
Amazing. We have
Yeah.
1 minute left, and I know that you love it here. It's why you live here. It's
Yep.
why you do all the things you do. But why do you, into 1 minute, as a local, love it here?
I think Owen Sound is amazing. As much as there are issues in every city, we have this amazing arts and culture scene. We have great restaurants downtown and throughout the city. There's awesome festivals. Like, there's always something to do in the summer. My kids can just bike to Harrison Park from my house and go play tennis if they want. I will always work to make this place better because I love it here. And I like being in the River District. If my employees don't drive, they can get to the shop in the morning. They can get there and not have to worry about driving an hour or anything like that. We'll get you to the job site. But
Yeah.
it's just a great, and the business owners are all awesome. Like,
They
I
are.
have so many buddies. Like, my kids actually went to the frog pond and they were a little bit short on the payment.
Aw.
And Neil took care of it. And I was like, this is what a small town is for. I mean, I made them go back and pay him the rest because I think that's
Sure.
wrong. But like, that's what a small town is. You
Yep.
take care of each other.
Yeah, Hometown Sports took in my partner's skates because they knew that he had to skate in the morning with our kid. And that's how you fall in love with a business.
Yeah.
That's how you fall in love with an area.
Yeah.
So, Meg, thank you so much for joining us. Here is your Locals Love It Here badge of
Thank
honor.
you.
We've got to go.
Amazing.
We'll see you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare. This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs.